Hey all, it's Dinosaur again, and I was asked to do a review of the characters, or actually to talk about the real world season 29. Wow, it's 29. To show you how far back I went, they had real world, New York, which I didn't quite ever get to. That was the first one. The second one was Real World Los Angeles, and that show actually took things off, and that show was a hit. Because you had truly a different group of characters. Some of the most famous and classic characters, including David, John, Beth, and Dominic, all came from real world Los Angeles, and that was an excellent one. Kind of sad that it kind of ended the way it did, but that's life. There was even a cop in that one where she wore her pistol like routinely, and I was like, whoa. But it's also the real world Los Angeles. The second one was the site of the most controversial one, where they were basically just partying drunk and everything, and the character David, or not character, but the David, who was a comedian, ripped a blanket off one of the girls, and they just flipped out, saying all these evil things about him, and it wasn't true. It's a long story. You'd have to grow up in that area to fully understand that situation, but I'm telling you this for background, because then there was a Real World San Francisco, which was the third season. And Real World San Francisco introduced many characters. The two most known characters, of course, was Pedro, who died of AIDS, and Puck. And Puck was a legend in that because he was so gross and so disgusting. Now I understand he like lives on a ranch and he's like totally normal. And he used to deliver packages on his bike in San Francisco. So, he's totally normal now from what the internet says and everything, and he has a normal life. But Puck was so extreme. From that point, MTV changed the format because they put Puck and Pedro and a whole bunch of other people in there, and they knew it wouldn't work. In this, the Real World San Francisco, this is the Real World 29 explosion. They're doing the exact same thing, but they're pulling some tricks on it, which is they're missing the whole point. They're going for ratings, and it didn't really work out on that, and I'll tell you why in a minute. What happened is that they picked these people to live same format. They picked people, and then I'll read their names for you so you understand. On that, the real one is, and I'm reading up here because I have them all up here. It's Ariel, Ashley, Corey, Jamie, Jay, Jenny, and Thomas. Now, all these people are different cultures, different sexual orientations, different beliefs, come from different backwards, but they're all kind of young. They're all kind of in shape. There's no one who's fat and totally bloated. It's very interesting how reading this is how they are on that. What you see in the show is two different things on that, because the show painted a lot of people one way, and then as the show progressed, you learned another thing. Specifically, I'd like to talk about Ashley. Now, Ashley is the cute one, in my opinion. Is kind of the cute one of that, because everyone else on the show is just kind of on that. But she's also from West Virginia, and she's freaking crazy on that. She gets drunk, says crazy things, almost like racist things, like my family would buy you, things like that. And it's just, wow, really? You said that? And she became a quick enemy in the crowd on that, because she was like so upset of how they were acting. But you see, she came from West Virginia, came to San Francisco, grew up and said this is her territory. She knows what it is. And she was nice and let everyone kind of hang out with her and take them to the clubs and here. And then she got crazy on people. And no, I didn't quite understand why she got crazy on that, but she did. She got drunk. and went forward. Now, from what I understand, a couple of people in my work told me that their friends said the real world people there, and people had to sign releases before going into the bar because MTV said you can't reveal anything that goes on in this bar without MTV's okay. Which is weird. I would never sign that. I'd just be like, whatever. I'm not going in. I'll go somewhere else. But it's specifically so they're trying to go back to the real world thing where you had so extremes like West Virginia area. Ashley, who doesn't really like anyone but herself. You have Ariel, which is like from Oakland, and she's a lesbian, but she's a model. But she wants to be a horror movie director. Bam! That was kind of genius on there. A horror movie director, and that, wow! Then you, of course, you have your stereotypical buff dudes. And you had or I should say, Jersey Shore-esque West Coast kind of lookalikes. Because there was one guy, he's like totally buzzed. It's kind of similar hair as Pauly, but not really. And then, of course, you do have a guy from the Bronx. He's like, I'm from the Bronx, but he's a thin dude. He's tan and all, but you know, I mean, one of the things he's like, I'm in the Bronx, and you know what? I don't normally see black girls. I'm like, what? I'm like, dude, Biggie was in the Bronx. How could you? What? Okay, whatever. On that, so. You know, and you have to look at all these different people on that, and they're putting them in. Now, the format of this particular episode is to take these people, and in approximately 4 weeks, they're going to bring all their ex-boyfriends. Throughout the show, they talk about their ex-boyfriends and how they're scum and all this, and they're going to bring them all in 4 weeks and not tell them as the new roommates. You know, here's the thing. I know what MTV is going for on that. They're trying to bring people in, and they're not giving the 4 people. They're going to do this in 4 weeks approximately. Well, 3 if you count the 1 week has passed. But they're not giving the people there. I mean, you had enough chemistry there with the people there to actually make an interesting show. See, the big complaint of the real world is after I think it hit Las Vegas or New Orleans, and I'm not even talking about the Seattle incident where the girl has like Lyme disease and the dude slaps her on that, where he got thrown out because of that. I'm talking about where I think it was in Las Vegas where the showers were all like same empty open stalls or all that. I mean, it became basically the sex world, the real sex world, where all they did is bang, and that's all MTV wanted to film. Which the problem with that is when you use that format once, it's interesting, but then after you use it over and over and over and over and over, people are like, okay, been there, done that. The beginning of the show was kind of refreshing because you kind of saw some different cultures there, and that's what I kind of liked about it on that. However, their marketing that suited to specifically the exes arriving, I think turned a lot of viewers off because they're just like, whatever. This is like a wannabe Jersey Shore on the West Coast, and they're not even close. I mean, these people a lot of them don't have chemistry. However, interesting enough, you have Ashley from West Virginia. And then if you look at MTV's website, the Ariel, which is a lesbian, is holding Ashley by the waist while she's wearing leather and white, or black leather jacket and white, where Ariel's black, where I thought that was kind of interesting. So I guess to be continued on that one. But after the whole first show, then you have one sex thing where people are doing the confession. Now, see, this is what kind of started everything. Ashley was cool to everyone, and then what happened is there's another character named Jamie. Jamie, I believe she's Asian. I mean, she looks Asian to me, maybe Asian white. She's cute and all, but she said, I'm the cheater police. And what she did is while Ashley was with some dude, she's like starts jumping on her and like just embarrassing her. And it was really like, yo, like, what are you doing? I mean, you just met this girl, you just showed up, you know nothing about her, and you're calling her cheater, and you're being a police. Who the hell are you? It was, she was really on the line on this. And that's what kind of pissed Ashley off, and she felt like people were ganging up on her again. I mean, this is one unstable woman, but I think what it is she gets a lot of pity because of her looks, honestly. And believe me, I've seen that, where I've seen like people going through some serious hard times, and they get no pity just on the basis of their looks. On that, and Ashley, everyone's giving me, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Okay, we all know what you want. That's pretty obvious there. So here's the thing. Ashley was not necessarily in the wrong. Where Ashley became in the wrong is when she took it to the next level, where she was like, my family would buy your family in West Virginia, like implying slavery was still there. Wow. Just wow on that one. I mean, seriously, you're saying this in San Francisco? I mean, this is the kind of talk, you say that in the city, in some wrong neighborhoods, you can get shot pretty easily. Because people just don't tolerate that shit. And of course, she's saying this on television. She's trying to... And that's the annoying thing. Everyone knows they're there, so they're all jocking up. They're all trying to be ultra sexy. They're all trying to be this. They're not being real. See, and that's the whole point of the real world. The real world was supposed to be real people doing real jobs, real adventures, all forced to live with each other. But then, it was minor stuff that caused all the problems. It was real stuff. That's what it was supposed to be. And this, it's like a thing. Jersey Shore's over, so we got to put something else, and let's move their exes in. Wait a minute, hold on. Where have I seen this kind of thing before? Anyone remember that game show? What's it called? Beauty and the Beast, or that other one where there was a really pretty girl and they brought nothing. Oh no, Beauty and the Geek, on that, where they brought nothing but geeky dudes in on that, and they fought it out to try to like go out with her, and then she went to the producers, threatened to quit the whole show and expose everything because she wasn't going to take this, because she didn't want to be with any of them. So what did they do? They brought in these hot dudes like right before the end, and she's taking off in the jet with a hot dude. And it's like, what? Huh? It's like you just played the audience, and that's what I'm feeling. The MTV's doing this. They're not doing the real world. They're trying to give an illusion of doing the audience, but what they want is the conflict. They want the train wreck of the friends showing up. And some of it was not even that funny. And then some of it was just like stupid and just typical. It wasn't even like situation funny, like where he's like on the situation. Just so dumb, it's funny. Or when they put in the stripper pole inside the house, they're like, the stripper pole breaks. It's that kind of stuff. That's funny. This is not funny. This was kind of a joke on that. So, I don't know. We'll see how it develops through the seasons. But to give you some insight, in the Nielsen ratings, according to Wikipedia, its ratings was 0.94. That's about based off 700,000 people. Only 600,000 people in the whole country probably cared about this show. Jersey Shore was regularly, when it first started doing like 2s. And then it jumped up to like 5s on that. This is not a successful start. So we'll see if MTV continues this. But anyway, this is Dinosa. Hope you're all having a good evening, and we'll just talk to you later when we have a little more going on. Bye.